And so when we're working with businesses, most businesses, if I'm being honest, they don't understand these principles and they try to break them in some weird way. And then once in a blue moon, I happen upon a company. Like Mazan and I were talking a week or two ago to a CEO and a CHRO, and I was like, God damn, this is a really well run company. And it's orderly, it's relaxed,
Mm,
it's joyful.
mm,
I was I loved it. I loved it. I was like, to me, it's my and we might work with them, we might not. I don't know. You know, if we help them with some small thing that they're working on, we can help them in some small way. But I sat there and I'm like, I'm great if we don't win this client because it's a proof point that you can run this really solid organization where people are respected. They go, they have a role, they do their job, they enjoy performing at their job, having some autonomy, some creativity. They leave, they go home, they have a good family life, they have some hobbies, they enjoy their life. It's solid, it runs really well. And I'm thinking, Krisana, when I've heard stories about your father who ran a company, right? Every story I hear is like, God damn, it ran pretty damn well. It was organized, it was respectful, it was like people had families that they could go to. It was like, it sounds amazing to me. And then we also have these other examples where, and this is our livelihood. So I guess in some way I'm grateful that there's dysfunction because it keeps my bills paid. But, you know, on a broader scheme, I would like to not have the dysfunction. I go into companies and there's all this like relating dynamics, systemic entanglements, and there's all these hidden loyalties and disrespect and snubbing and I see everyone is in this like stress and burnout and like what my role changes every other day. My boss is asking me to do her job, and now she's doing my job. This doesn't make any sense to me. Like there's a clique and there's a coup and there's like all this drama, right? And I hear there's like we've had, because of this more kind of historically toxic masculine kind of domination thing, we now are going to this other thing, which is like, I want to be the cool guy. I don't want to have a hierarchy. I don't want to have roles, no job descriptions. Everyone just does what they want. And in a very mature organization, it is possible actually for a non-hierarchy to work, but each person has to be a leader of themselves. Different topic for a different day. So there are a couple examples out there where companies have been able to do this when everyone can be a leader of themselves. But okay, let's assume that's not the case, and we see this like, I'm a cool guy, no roles, no hierarchy. We're all friends. We're family here, right? So we have these two contrasting models, right? We have this like, we do this like very sloppy kind of incestual relating dynamic, systems dynamics, and then we have this like very orderly, joyous, kind of clean operating system. Krisana, you've worked in both. I also purposely used the example of your father's company because it's a big inspiration for me personally as a business person. What do you see are some of the differences, and how do we get to maybe a little bit more of that, um, what your father was able to build?
I asked him one day and I said, "How did you know your business was successful?" He's 93 now, he's retired. He said, "Why you want to know?" And he goes, I said it was, and he said he got a lot of support from his parents, but not with money. He just had a healthy, supportive parents that encouraged him. One thing I did notice is when I grew up, he never brought his work home. He never was, business was outside, family was family. And it wasn't it was just, he was very happy and creative. So, he had, he was the founder director. He was also, as he said, you have to take the role of the boss, as he said. And I said, did you have any issues with his teams? And he says, no, they all got along really well. And he said, and we had good communication. He says, but as the role in the managerial, the CEO position, you have to give direction, but you also have to also listen. So he had a small company, but you could tell that it was also more family oriented in those times. Like he also knew that they had family, so it was still in this structure where he was very family orientated, and also he did care for the employees, and they stayed forever. They became my uncles, so, and they're all very happy. And he said, what about some contracts or that didn't work? And he said, yeah, well, some will not happen, but you just have to move on, and you don't stay identified in, yeah, you get frustrated, but if you're going to get identified, you get stuck and you learn. So I understand that he never shared with me, or he never said I'm super successful, but he had very intact principles of inside of him how to run a business. And he also said, yeah, there's failures and successes. And he always told me, don't say you're successful yet, because you're up for a failure, not in a negative way. He says there's both.
So this is where it comes from.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right.
It's kind of like out of the earning of what you've gone through, the experience and the reflection.
I on a physical plane, on the physical business, I agree, but this is where disagreement happened. We live in the same household, and for me, like, again, that's the beauty about different us interacting as different being. For me, every day is a success in a sense of my duty, and I do my purpose, and I thrive for more. But I live in that success in a sense, regardless if I succeeded or not. So it's an ongoing semantic discussion. Yeah, but it's, again, I'm sharing it in the context of work. If we're always waiting to see success in the physical gain in the future, that also another principle that will strain the company, because you will have more depressed, and then not so much purpose, not much so thriving, and then even performance will go down. So it's really more how we put the people in the right place, so they see a daily success even with small tasks. Small, again, now I'm going funny on leadership development, but yeah, so how to succeed with your people, with the staff, with the people who really do the work, that they really focus on that what they're doing, and the success on a daily basis, regardless the mistakes of the whole organism, which will bring success on the long run. Again, like the inner, the outer, and then the bigger picture.
And one more thing I would like to add, when I said being in tune with the fountain of life energy, he really respected his parents. Like, there was a love. There was no, there, I mean, there, yeah, it was a very healthy, wholesome, parents. Maybe they had their own behaviors, but I sense like it was a really nice upbringing for him, so that also determines. And also his leadership skills. He's very pragmatic and practical, and but he did say to me he either chose to study music at the music conservatorium, or he decided to go into creating his own business when he was quite young, and he learnt on the way. So of course, so in that case, there's an inner sense for me, business is not scary. Business, there's already kind of a healthy blueprint for me of that I'm not aware of, that I carry, and I'm really, I really acknowledge that that's just comes through to me. But you can also learn the healthy principles, and have a healthy, intact business or organization or success. But it's a lot to do with self-leadership, your inner leadership, being a leader, understanding strategic thinking as we go through, and how to adapt. So, and then also, looking at the bigger system. There are many things that take place in this.